Hey everyone, a little bit of a different one today. We're not going to do Path of Exile. We are actually going to look at the Elder Scrolls Online and why in 2020 I think this is a game actually worth coming back to and playing. So just on the screen right now you can see some early launch day or day one launch day footage. And straight up you can see that, a little bit lackluster, not great. I actually bought this game when it first came out and bought the crazy expensive pack with the Daedra Lord statue and everything, which I still have on my shelf. But it just wasn't, there was just something missing about it. It just wasn't great. Anyway, coming back to it in 2020 is a very different thing. So when it first came out, it was buggy, it had lag issues, all sorts of different problems like that. The graphics weren't great, the engine wasn't great, and as an overall, there was just a lack of content. It seems that things have sort of changed, and maybe, just maybe, this might actually be worth a look at. So I guess stay tuned, and I'll have a run through of what you should probably be looking at with this game coming into 2020. Okay, so the next area that we should probably talk about is the current player population. So based off statistics that I've pulled, currently there's 13.5 million players. Now, if we look at the Steam statistics, there's a average concurrent player base of about 30,000 people online at any one time. Now, the 13.5 will speak to the fact that there are probably 13.5 registered accounts, or potentially 13.5 registered characters, so there'll be multiple accounts and characters depending on the players and what their preference is. But I would say a 30,000 concurrent base on Steam alone, and also looking at the fact that in the last 30 days there's been a 23% gain, and that will probably have part of the reason feeding from the fact that Steam is selling the game with the Elsewhere expansion for $30, means that the game is actually picking up, and it looks like from about November 2019 up and onwards the game is actually continuing to grow and grow and grow, which is absolutely fantastic if you're looking at getting into ESO for the 2020 year. So along with the player population, the content of ESO has also grown somewhat exponentially over the last few years since its 2014 release date. Namely, it's released expansions for Morrowind, Somerset, Elsewhere, and as of May 2020 this year, the Greymoor expansion will be coming out, which will be adding Skyrim into the game as well. Not to mention you can play in the Imperial City. You can do a whole heap of different things in this game. I should probably add that you can also play in the Adventurers Guild, you can be part of the Mages Guild, you can be part of the Thieves Guild, you can play as part of the Dark Brotherhood, and murder people. Anything is really possible in this game, and on top of that, it actually has an absolutely enormous number of quests and side quests, to the point where I actually read in the forums that someone was complaining about the fact that there were actually too many quests that would just sidetrack you as you're trying to work your way through. And all these things lead into the fact that it's an absolutely fantastic game in the current state of where it's at. On top of that, everything is voice acted, and every story and every quest has actually been properly voice acted. So, like ArcheAge, it's all very generic and very sort of meh. And it's all text-based. There's actually someone actually explaining the storyline to you, and it's fantastic. It's immersive. It's a really great. It's one of the really great things about where this game currently is, and you're going to be playing for God knows how long, because there's just that much content to be to sort of drill into in it. So definitely another reason to add as to why it's worth playing in 2020. So another fantastic feature, which I thought was really cool, is, and I'm just going to coin this term, is dynamic character progression. So I don't know if you've watched things like the new anime that's out, Bofuri or whatever it is. Even if you watched your Sword Art Online, where basically as you use abilities and skills, your character progresses with that sword or that shield or whatever. Well, the way that ESO works is you can play any character and basically use any weapon. You can also level up any skill that you want on it too, and any skills that are specific to that weapon. Now, there obviously are races with specific class attributes, such as Nords are better with two-handeds or whatever. But you can use destruction staves with a Nord, or you can be a Nord necromancer, or it's boundless. You can do whatever you want to do essentially. Once you choose your class, you can then go from there. Now, you could be a necromancer that could cast skeletons, but also use a big fuck off two-hand sword. There's just a lot of variation and a lot of ability to play the way that you want. Not to mention, as you progress through the game, new skills will unlock. And I've found from time to time, you steal something, for example, then a thief skill comes into play, and you get indoctrinated into the thieves guild, and then you can basically you get attributes for stealing shit, which I found absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's just a very, very dynamic character progression system, and definitely really cool if you're looking to play a game that lets you play the way that you want to play. So, in my relatively new experience to ESO, what I've actually found is the grouping system for dungeoning is quite good. Dungeons are really awesome. So the first dungeons you'll do at level 10 are from, I guess, 4 players, and then, you'll move all the way up to, I think, medium dungeons, and then you'll go up to 24-player raids. On top of that, other things that you'll be able to do are obviously PvP. And actually there's an event which I've run into, which is Mid-Year Mayhem PvP event, which I'll do some more drilling into, but it looks like, from what I can see, there are some fantastic PvP exclusives that you can get. As exclusives, I mean gearing and things like that you can get from actually doing the PvP event. Now, there is World PvP. I believe Cyrodiil is where most PvP goes down in the game. But outside of that, there's also crafting, and obviously if you're a seller, it's got an auction house mark, and guild auction housing and all that sort of jazz. So there's just a lot of variety of things that you can do outside of even just PvE if you just like doing questing. What I also noticed in the game from, I guess, coming into it as of recently, it's very populated, which means you can party up with people constantly. Getting into dungeons isn't a huge wait. It's pretty good. I would definitely say there is ample content outside of just doing storyline quests. Yeah. So my number one key point as to why you should probably play ESO in 2020 is, of all the MMOs that I've tried over the years, and I'm not really big on MMOs because I play ARPGs, obviously this channel is very Path of Exile orientated, is that it's real-time combat. Everything is real-time combat, which means you swing your sword, that's it, you're swinging your sword. It's very easy. There's only 6 key skills, including your ultimate and a flask, or I've played too much PoE, but what do they call? Yeah, let's just call it flask. Health pots or whatever that you need to pop with Q. So it's got a fantastic combat system, and you can also go into first person mode if you want to play it like Skyrim. If you're a huge Skyrim fan back in the day, you can do so, and that's fucking awesome. Outside of that, I also love the graphics of this MMO. Ever since playing it originally, I didn't think much of it. It wasn't very spectacular, and over the years since 2014, and obviously that being 6 years ago now, they have done an absolutely tremendous amount of work in making this game look sexy as fuck. And as you can see in the gameplay, when it gets out of the Stonefalls loading screen, the graphics are something that most MMOs, like obviously Black Desert is a very good looking game, and there are other games like that look crazy good, but this game, considering its what it's offering as a total package, is pretty good. On top of that, it's got day and night cycling. It's just got a lot of detail. As you can see here, it's nighttime. and I'm basically just strolling around and, you know, trying to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. And it just looks good. It feels really immersive, and your character looks really detailed. I remember when I first played the game, the character detail was pretty shitty. So yeah, it's a great game, and also particle effects and everything is great. It's got a huge number of different sliders and everything for graphical settings to play basically how you want to play it. And it'll work on a pretty half decent spec laptop too, so it's not a really chunky game to play. It can be if you're playing on Ultra, like right now I'm playing on Ultra and I'm getting a pretty shitty FPS. But you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so if you're looking for a game that has real-time combat, as you can see here, real-time combat, and really good decent graphics, then this is definitely the game that you want to be looking at in 2020. So pretty much in summary, I would say play this game. Just play it. Just do it. It's pretty good. Looks good. Real-time combat, definitely worth your time. Huge player base. Well, not, well, wow, huge, but definitely big. Lots of players. Also a lot of really cool gear and things like that that you can collect. If you guys want to see a bit of a how-to into how to start this game and how to basically quickly power through levels, I can do that in another video if you guys want to see this. If you guys think that this video is shit, and you know you don't like it, then you know where the dislike button is. But if this video helps you get into a really good MMO and gives you, I guess, an idea of what to play in this current climate where we have no idea what the fuck to play, or we're waiting for games to come out, then yeah, give me a like and obviously a sub, and thanks for watching. Alright, bye.